I want to start a new series on my channel. This is a series that I've seen on different channels and that I've really enjoyed watching this from other YouTubers. I think I've seen this at Betty Bean, Annette's Makeup Corner, Rachel Palmieri. Like, I see more and more people doing this, and I think it's a really great idea to kind of like do an update before you actually do the full eyeshadow palette ranking at the end of the year. Like, that's a lot. It's very overwhelming, and it also takes a long time to get there. I mean, a year. So I want to just start doing the ranking my last 10 palettes series. It will probably take some time between these videos because I don't try that many eyeshadow palettes as of now, but I just wanted to start with the last 10 palettes, the first 10 palettes that I've tried in 2024. So let's get into it. I am gonna put in some swatches, some looks, anything that I can find that I did on these palettes. If I don't have it anymore, I'm not gonna re-swatch the palette, but if I still have it, I will like insert it in the video. That is my new goal, to show you some more swatches in videos. And to kind of like keep those swatches around a little longer so I can actually insert them. One palette that I didn't really love this year so far, that's gonna be in my 10th place, and I feel like this is the only palette that really disappointed me. The rest of these I like or love. This is the Safari Fever Slim Eyeshadow Palettes by Catrice. It is, first up, not really my color story. I thought it was gonna be more neutral, but everything pulls very warm. I don't love warm eyeshadows on myself. If I do warm eyeshadow, it's usually a little bit more fresh, light, colorful, and not as muted as this. I didn't really love this on myself. The quality didn't really make up for the fact that I don't love these colors. It all turned out very muddy, a little like uninteresting, a little bland. It's not that these eyeshadows don't have any pigment or don't have any shine to them. It's just the overall looks came out very meh to me. So I don't love it, but I feel like there is still an audience out there for this palette. I still think that some people would love this palette if these are your colors and you want more kind of like those classic formulas in your eyeshadows and you like paying a little less for your eyeshadows. Like, this is 10 euros and that is a fine price, I think, for what you get. Like, you get what you pay for, but there are better and more special eyeshadows on the market for this price, even from Catrice. Like, Catrice has better formulas than this. Next up, an Essence eyeshadow palette. This is the Essence Love, Luck and Dragons eyeshadow palette. I actually quite like this. It's a good eyeshadow palette. I like the packaging. It is quite cute. I love the pink, the purple and the gold. It is a 9-pen eyeshadow palette that I actually feel like for Essence is very well thought through. Like, we have some deepening up shades, we have some mid-tone shades, we have different shimmers that go with the different shades. The thing with this palette is that it is very warm toned, and because of that I'm not gonna be reaching for this one a bunch, but for the warm tones that are in here, I feel like it's a great color story. The shimmers in here also are very nice. Some of them are quite sparkly, quite out there, a little special. We also have this more satiny shade that's a little softer but still pigmented. I actually really enjoy the quality of this palette. I feel like this is one of the Essence eyeshadow palettes that I've tried that I've actually really liked. They did a good job with this one. If these are your colors, I would recommend it, but it's not my go-to. Alright, next up we have one of the newer eyeshadow palettes in my collection. This is the Kiko Days in Bloom Multi-Faceted Eyeshadow Palette in 02 Green Serenade. First look that I did with this, I was a little bit like, that is soft, kind of soft. By the way, the packaging of this is absolutely stunning. I really like the whole vibe of this collection. And this packaging, I mean, makes me a little bit more excited for this eyeshadow palette for sure. The color story is already very soft, it's very spring, it's very pastel, it's very cool tone. I actually quite like the colors in here. Not all of these shades are as soft. Some of the shimmers are a little bit more shiny, some of them have a little bit of a duochrome to them. You don't have a lot of options in the mattes, so the colors, like the difference in colors is really coming from these colorful shimmers. I feel like they played it kind of safe with the palette. You can get a really soft look with this. You can get a little bit more of an out there look that is still kind of soft. I wouldn't say that the quality of this is bad. I think it's just a little bit more of a luxury style eyeshadow palette that is just meant to be kind of like satiny and flattering on the eyes. I feel like still a lot of people are gonna enjoy this, and I did do looks with this that I enjoyed, but it's just very soft for my makeup style. I do like a little bit more texture. I do like a little bit more interest in the palette, something a little unexpected. Of course, Kiko is not usually really the brand to go to for that, so I'm not really super surprised. But when I swatched this in the store, I thought the shimmers were gonna be a little bit more shimmery, so I was kind of surprised at how subtle it was. But when I realized kind of like what they meant to do with this palette, I did enjoy the looks. Next up, a palette that I didn't expect when I bought this to end up kind of low. This is the Flower Nose Little Angel Collection eyeshadow palette in 02 Weeping Angel, and I wouldn't say that the quality of this is bad. I wouldn't say that this is a eyeshadow palette that doesn't get me excited. I mean, Flower Nose is a brand that I'm really getting into. I'm really loving some of their stuff, and there are some really beautiful shades in here, beautiful shimmers. I feel like it's just a little bit more of a challenging color story, and not in a way that I feel like it challenges me, but then I come up with great combinations in the end. It is one where I really have to think about what I'm going to combine with what, because not all of these shades are blending together very well. Not all of this is working together perfectly. I feel like with this one, I really have to do a little bit more of a simple look. 1 or 2 mattes and then a shimmer on the lid. Don't make it too complicated and then it will work out. So I can't really do anything and everything that I would want to do with this, which makes me rank it a little lower. I feel like I would rank it higher if there was actually a dark blue to deepen up the crease with or to use as a shadow liner. I feel like these cool tones are just a little misplaced, and then this dark blue shimmer is very beautiful but also a little bit misplaced. It's just not my favorite Flower Nose palette. The quality is not bad, but it's also not amazing, because it's just so hard to blend these colors together. I just feel like it gets a little muddy sometimes, and that is not what I want. I just feel like the shadows individually are beautiful, the packaging is beautiful, the whole idea of this is beautiful, but when you start like blending too many things together, it's not really working out. Next up, another Kiko Milano palette. This is from the Stellar Love collection. This is the Cosmic Gaze eyeshadow palette in 02 Under the Starry Sky. This is a really cute and compact, just in this round compact. This color story is kind of like smoky, kind of like colorful for what Kiko normally does. You can get quite a blue look with this, you can get quite a purple look with this, and also the textures in here are a little different. The 2 shimmers over here, like the champagne one and the lilac, are very sparkly, very beautiful, really nice toppers. This is a really nice satin that you can also kind of use in the crease. You can get a really blue look. These 2 mattes, the darker mattes, they kind of like adapt to what shadow you combine it with. They can both get kind of like purpley, but this kind of goes like purpley berry, and this kind of goes like grayish, bluish, purplish, kind of like a very grayed out cornflower blue. I've actually really enjoyed the quality of this palette. I feel like the shadows in here are very nice and pigmented. We have really nice textures, and the look as a whole, like the looks that I've done have been a little different for Kiko Milano. I really love how cool toned this is. I've really enjoyed this. This is a really nice palette. I really like the quality of this. Alright, next up we have the second Flower Nose palette from the Little Angel collection. This is the one in 01 Eden's Angel, and this one I just feel is a little bit more easy to use, a little bit more easy to work with. I really love the kind of like cool tone but still kind of rosy neutral looks that you can get with this. Shimmers are really beautiful, the mattes are really beautiful. I still kind of have a little bit of that issue where I can't really blend too many mattes together. It will get a little muddy, so even here I have to keep it a little simple, but if I do that, I feel like it's really easy to do looks with this, and I really love the color story. This one is one that I've gone back into quite a few times. I used it more than I actually had to for me to be able to review it, and that already says a lot. I get a little bit more excited about this color story, and I can work around the one con that this has. The other one is challenging in the formula and in the color story. I feel like this color story is not challenging. I just have to think a little bit about the formula, but usually I don't really have any issues with it, and it is just very nice and sparkly, and I love the tones in here. Just kind of like this gray with those kind of like rosy browns is just something that I really enjoy. So I do really like this eyeshadow palette, even though it's not perfect, and the 4 that are coming up are like basically perfect to me, so that's why it's a little lower. Yeah, I really like it. Alright, in the 4th spot is gonna be the Charmer eyeshadow palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. This is a palette that is super fun and colorful, beautiful mattes that are really blendable, which you can really like build them up or sheer them out. And then we have beautiful shimmers that are more different on the eye that you would expect. Like these all seem a little similar, but they do all shift in a different way where it gets a different vibe on the eye. I do feel like this is very heavily purple. Like it's a very heavily purple palette, and then we have kind of like some pops of neutral red and green. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. It is very easy to work with, beautiful, impactful looks. It's just a little lower because it's not gonna be my go-to everyday palette, and I don't know yet if I'm gonna be going into this again and again and again. It's just very colorful, and I have to be realistic. I'm a little bit more into like soft color or neutrals, and this is more out there, so we're gonna see how much I'm actually gonna use this. Also, I see more simple looks here, and I don't know if I see myself really combining a lot of different colors. I think it will either go more red, more green, more neutral, or more purple. I do think that this is a really nice palette, but it's more for like certain occasions, and then it's not gonna be like a daily favorite. So that's why I'm putting it a little lower, just because it's not completely my makeup style. Alright, next up, the top 3 was really difficult for me to rank. And I kind of feel like they're all number 1. So I did some ranking. I did a ranking, and we're here to rank. So in the 3rd spot, I am putting the Mighty Monster palette by Oden and Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. This is such a gorgeous color story. We have beautiful shadows in here, beautifully pigmented mattes, very shiny shimmers. I've done beautiful looks with this. This is one of the palettes that I'm wearing on the eyes today. I did a little bit with this purple, but I also combined it with a palette that is coming up. If you watch me, then you already know what it is. But this is a gorgeous color story. I really like the colors in here. It kind of challenges me, but it also gives me ways to combine colors that are really like logical together, or that I usually would put together. And so it's kind of like in between this more challenging and more like easy eyeshadow palette, which I really love. We have some brights, we have some deepening up shades. You can go a little bit more neutral. I did a look with kind of like neutral in the crease, and then I used this Glow Vortex shade all of the eyes, and it was stunning. It was beautiful. I even used this as a highlighter, in like a multi-chrome highlighter, and it really worked like that as well. So it's very versatile. I really like this palette so far, and I can't wait to do more looks with this. Now I kind of like tried all of the shades, but I want to do more with it. I want to like play with the different colors. I do feel like for me this is a little bit of a like fall winter palette, because right now I'm really into pastels. I'm really into lighter shades and kind of like airy soft looks, but I think combined with other things I can still wear this like all year round. I think it's gonna be really nice to have this to deepen up shades, to add a little bit of that very special shimmer on top. This is beautiful. Right, next we have the palette that I'm also wearing today. This is a Spring Dragon palette with Oden and Judy. I have been enjoying this so much. I've been doing so many looks with this. This is such a lovely palette. I love the pigment of the mattes in here. Like the pastels are beautiful. The shimmers are a little softer, but I still think they are very cute. And there's just so much I want to do with these. These are also shades that I just can combine very easily with other palettes to kind of like lighten it up, to make it look a little bit more fresh and spring. And it's just so many beautiful matte inner corners. I am wearing this shade in the inner corner now, and I just love how It's so fresh and light, and I can wear it in the corner, but I can also wear it like on the lid or in the crease. I just think this is such a beautiful palette. It's just all of the pastel shades that I want. Like, this is my perfect pastel palette. I want pastels that are kind of like cool leaning. There can be a little bit of rosiness. I love this yellow and this green. Just all of the undertones here are perfect for me. It is so beautiful. If I would have to rank it, if I would have to rank these eyeshadow palettes based on how I feel right now, like what I'm most excited about right now, this would be number one. But I have to like keep the whole beginning of 2024 in mind, because we're getting into spring. I'm getting really excited about this. I'm wearing this a lot. But my number one, I just think it's gonna be a true all year round favorite. And when I first got it, I was wearing it a lot, and I still feel very excited when I look at it. So I'm gonna take that into account, and I'm gonna rank the Dreamer palette in the first place for this ranking. So this is a Dreamer palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. This came in their Dreamer box for holiday 2023, but I only got it, I don't know, a month ago maybe. Like, when did I just started using this? Or like 1.5 months ago, I don't know. Time is going fast, but this is such a beautiful color story. It's cool toned, but you also have some rosy shades. You can go a little bit more pinky, you can go a little bit more blue, a little bit more gray. And I feel like for me, like all of these shades combined together so beautifully in looks that I love to do. It's just so dimensional, it's beautiful. It's kind of like rosy but grungy, but I really love the shades. I love the formulas as well, and this holographic shade is just very easy to work with, which makes me very happy. We have just stunning shimmers, and I really love working with these mattes. They're really easy to work with. Even though most of these are kind of like very cool tone, very dark, it isn't always the case that with these shades it's really working easily on the eyes. I've done so many looks with this that I've really enjoyed. This is such a beautiful palette, and I'm so happy that I pick this up, because this is just stunning. Alright, this is gonna be everything for my ranking of my last 10 palettes. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these palettes. Do you agree with my ranking? Which ones were your favorites? And yeah, then this is gonna be everything for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.